Week 5 of MPL ID has just wrapped up. Well, it has wrapped up a few days ago, but we are going to make a recap to tell you guys exactly what I think about the power rankings, how I think each team lists or places in my list, and every single player too. So get ready, buckle up is what I'm trying to say, because we're going to go start with the teams as usual for MPL ID Week 5. So let's start with number 1. Again, it's Onyx, man. I think for Onyx, we've kind of given them so many excuses. We've been saying that it does seem like they are hiding. It does seem like they're just experimenting. But through these games, I feel like we've gone to a point where I don't think they're experimenting anymore. I think at this point, here, I think they're still experimenting, but they are trying their darn hardest to actually win, and it just seems weird. The fact that they have been trying these new strategies out and it should be working, but it hasn't. I don't know if it's the team underperforming. I don't know if it's the draft and the synergy or the strategy just not being that good, or what. I have no idea. But for sure, what I do know is Onyx will be downgraded to great for the first time since. No, yeah, for the first time in the MiRecap for MPL ID Season 13. This is the first time ever that we are going to be putting Onyx down there. Their loss against Evo's Glory, their win against Geek Fam, but still very shaky against Geek Fam too. Even in Game 2, when Kyrie got the Lancelot, we really weren't able to see the full version of Onyx that we are used to seeing. Every time we see him play Lancelot, we are used to seeing him just pop off, get a 10,000 gold lead, and destroy any team. And we did get a glimpse of that, but in Game 3, maybe he's just coming back to the Assassins again. Maybe he's just, shaking the rust off. But even in Game 3, where the Fanny was dominating, we did see a few blunders here and there from Onyx. Just very unnatural, very uncharacteristic to see from Onyx. But yeah, I think they'll definitely be downgraded from top team to great. Not saying that they're not a top team. They're definitely still a top team, but it just feels like they're kind of shaky. Moving on to the next team on the list, and it is very, very unfortunate to see Bigatron Alpha also take a loss against Evo's Glory. Now, Evo's Glory have made some crazy changes in I don't know, the way that they've been playing. I don't know if the players have found the rhythm or if the big teams are underperforming, both Onyx and Bigatron Alpha. Because for Evo's Glory's match against Onyx, there could still be a reason as to why Onyx lost. Like we could actually still make excuses. We could still say, Onyx, they're trying their drafts. They're trying Kyrie on the Roger in the jungle. They're trying a fighter in the gold lane for Albert, things like that. But for Bigatron Alpha, they're really not hiding anything, right? I mean, they're still playing to the best that they can. They're still trying to get wins as much as possible, and yeah, I have no idea what's going on with Bigatron Alpha, but it just feels like their drafts are a bit readable now, and it does feel like the players are not as sharp as they were 2 weeks ago before the break. Maybe the break kind of derailed the hype momentum from Bigatron Alpha for the players as well. I really certainly hope that that's not the problem. I hope that Bigatron Alpha are just facing a slump. Luckily for Bigatron, they only played one match last week. Next week, though, or the week that's tomorrow, we're going to see Bigatron play 2 times, I believe, and we'll have to see if they have sharpened up, if they have, improved, because for right now, especially losing against Evo's Glory, not to say that Evo's Glory isn't good, we're going to, upgrade Evo's Glory, but they were 9th coming into this week, so Bigatron will be dropping down to great team. Next on the block, we're going to take a look at Aura, and in Week 5, I was really, really impressed by Aura. I've already been impressed by Aura from Week 4, and I also said that, the previous MiRecap, when I put Aura as a top-tier great team, I said that they are very easily going to be able to take the top team mantle from Bigatron and Onyx, and I think they did. I think their performance in Week 5 showed why they're such a menace. Yawi it's kind of like it's an all-star team. I think Yawi said it best in the interview. He was asked about how he feels being a superstar in MPL ID, and he responded with, that was a very classy answer. The way he responded was very classy. He said, "There are no superstars in Aura. I'm not a superstar because every single one of us are superstars." And I think that kind of like explains Aura, the way that they have been able to find their rhythm, their synergy, and the way that they've been performing. Their drafts have been pretty good, even though it does still look like they could use some work in the drafts. Aran in the XP lane, when he gets a split pushing heroes, when he plays his style, even when he doesn't play his style, he still does really, really well. And I don't know what it is with this team, but the whole team is just playing super well. It is weird because for Kabuki as well, the guy that we've been, criticizing having only two heroes, Cloud and Carry, he played the Harith, he played the Roger this week, and he won on both Roger and Harith. And his Harith was actually something special to see. Seems like their players, Aura, they've improved on every single aspect that we've criticized them for. In week 1, I remember putting them in no playoffs because their performance was horrible. And they have learned through, I don't know what means, but I'm really proud of this Aura squad right now, man. The fact that they were criticized so heavily at the start, like a lot of people are saying that they were just all hype coming into the season, and the fact that they have basically torn down the haters, even Iran, destroyed the haters completely. They deserve a top team spot in my list right now based on their performance. This team is special, and I can't wait to see more from Aura. They're really, really good. Next, though, we do have Alter Ego, which has been the opposite of Aura, I feel. They started off really well. They had an amazing, phenomenal start to the season. I believe they were 4-0, but then they fell flat. And I think it is due to how readable they are. When Bigatron Alpha is readable in the drafts, Alter Ego are readable in the game. Because in the draft, Alter Ego are actually very, very hard to predict. Like they're quite unpredictable actually in the drafts. They love going for these crazy picks, and maybe it's due to Coach Aldo. Coach Aldo is still in the lineup, and he never fails to bring the most out of a team's hero pool, because every team that he touches, every team that he coaches will always be number one with the unique hero pool category, or thingamajiggy. When he was coaching for Onyx in season 10, Onyx had the largest hero pool. Most unique hero picked. Bigatron in season 11 and 12, it was Bigatron with the most unique heroes picked, and now coaching Alter Ego or analyzing for Alter Ego, helping them draft Alter Ego, have found that, and for the most part, it's been amazing. When they picked up the Xavier, when they picked up the Odette as well, in the first few weeks, it was amazing. Now it feels like it's kind of tacky. It feels like it's gone to a point where it's a bit more template, You kind of expect these crazy picks from Alter Ego, and when you are able to predict the unpredictable becomes predictable, and teams are just aware of that now. They're no longer going to be thrown off by the curveball that Alter Ego send their way. Their macro is still quite horrendous. They're a very template team, though it does seem like they have improved in that aspect. Like whenever they are in a winning spot, they have improved in the way that they take games. It's very rare that we get to see Alter Ego get like come back by the enemy team. When they are ahead, they do extremely well. They know exactly how to utilize their lead, their snowball, and how to prevent the enemy team from making a comeback happen. But when the enemy team is able to hold them down, to level the playing field, and to weather the Alter Ego storm, that's when Alter Ego are in a pickle. Alter Ego struggle up against teams who can go equal against them in the early to mid, and teams, because for the most part, Alter Ego, it feels like they kind of don't know what they want to do in these games when we cross that mid-game point. They struggle to find winning conditions. They struggle to find solutions to the problems that their opponents are constantly asking in the mid to late game. And for that reason, I feel like the team's consistency, even with Rect joining in their final match in week 5 against Rebellion, they were looking super shaky. And again, like I thought with Rect, their macro would be good, and it did seem like it was better, but it still seems like it was too far off for now. They are at best a mid-table team for week 5. Geek Fam as well. I'm not even gonna joke with you guys. Ray wasn't performing that bad, but still, it's just weird to see. I still stand by my statement of Ray being the worst jungler in MPL ID. He did out retry Kyrie, but he was on Akai, and Beloyski was on Kaja, and like, come on. So, I'll still stand by that statement until he proves me wrong. It just feels like even when he wins the retry battles, he doesn't do much in the team fights because he depletes all his resources just to go for the retry, and in the end, it doesn't really help GeekFam win. It just prevents GeekFam from losing early. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Luke is amazing though. The shining light for GeekFam right now is Luke. A boy. Those two are performing really well. Their macro is still really, really good, to be fair, but if they continue to juggle their roster in the 5th week, we're already getting to the second half. We are already in the second half of MPL ID, and they are still juggling their lineup. I have no idea if Hazel's underperforming in scrims or if he's sick, but the only reason I saw for bringing Ray into the lineup was, they want to try some damage junglers, because that's what Ray is known for. He is actually a pretty decent assassin jungler. But on tanks, I honestly feel like, in the meta in week 5, I honestly feel like he's still the worst. Now that the assassin meta is back, I think Ray will get more playtime, and I think he will be able to, silence my doubts and my hate towards him. It's not really hate, but it's like my criticism towards him. I really hope that happens, because for GeekFam, I honestly feel like they are a no playoffs team as of right now, based on the way that they were performing in week 5. They were sloppy everywhere, and even Luke, the guy who was shining, he still makes the same mistakes happen, dude. He's 3-0 up, and he will still just dive alone into the turret. Shit like that constantly. Luke doing Luke things. It's a signature thing to do, and I think this season, knowing how competitive it is, it's not something that GeekFam can afford to have happen to them. But for now, I'll have to put GeekFam in the no playoffs category. It is very, very sad to see them here, but yeah. Next, we're also going to be moving RRQ to the no playoffs category. The way that they played in week 5 was just, oh man, it was bad. The drafts were bad. The gameplay was bad. Irad and Lemon. Shoutouts to Irad and Lemon, because those two performed well, but that's it. What is going on with RRQ? I do know that Skylar is sick, but you wouldn't expect RRQ, a team that's been so consistent, a team that has had so many pillars in their lineup to hold their team to stay stable. RRQ has always been a contender. You have never seen RRQ in this position before. They always know how to at least make it to the playoffs, how to at least stay out of the red zone. But this season, it feels like they've lost their memo. They've lost their pillars completely. This is a full rebuild, but they go back to their old roster as well. It looked like a full rebuild with Brusco in, with Dawn in, with Octa in, and then they now bring back the veterans, Vin and Lemon. But even with those veterans those veterans coming back, it does feel like RRQ are still Skylar Esports. I've been saying this for a long time as criticism to RRQ. They need to figure out a way to either have Skylar carry every single game, or find more ways to play the game. Find more ways to win the game that is not just feed Skylar and get Skylar resources, because it's so incredibly readable. And for RRQ, even last season, I made this statement, I made this criticism when they were atop the standings. They are very, very readable. Once teams are able to get a hold out of them in the playoffs, they're going to go home first. And that's kind of what happened. They were really good at the start, but as time goes on, that template gameplay that they have just gets read out so easily. And even then, they are still not no playoffs. Even then, when their template has been read, even then, when it's still Skylar Esports, they are still not in no playoffs. But when Skylar is not in the roster, not in the lineup, when Skylar is sick, they truly are a no playoffs team. And it's super sad to see RRQ here. It really, aside from all the jokes, obviously, I've been making a whole lot of jokes on broadcast. I've been smack talking Arashi, shit like that, It's really sad to see RRQ here, and that's for real. But, hey, RRQ are there. That's the facts. Dewa United, I think we will move them to a higher tier in the mid-table. Still, though, this team struggles to stay consistent. I mean, I think we all remember the Watt flying into Mathilda circling Eagle play up against Bigatron Alpha that ended up with Bigatron Alpha coming back in the game. That happened again almost. I mean, Dewa United, dude, that was such a it was such a bad performance. It was up against RQ when they had the Evolve Lord in the bottom lane, and for some reason, Kaze and Watt decide that it's okay for them to 3v5. Not even 3v5, technically 2v5. I'm counting the Lord in the lineup too. That's why I said 3v5. They decided to 2v5 RQ with the Lord. What in the MDL is that, bro? Like, seriously, that is not an MPL thing to happen. But still, Drian is a shining light in this team. He is legit so special to this team. Whenever this guy gets his comfort pick, and that has been the way to go for Dewa United, they are able to save heroes for Drian. And when that happens, Dewa just finds so much comfort, and they are able to outperform a lot of the teams. Unfortunately, not every single team, because they did lose a match with Chip up against Aura, who were just able to kind of outclass them in the way of the team fight, in the way of Yawi. And yeah, for that reason, I think they are still very, very inconsistent. Their players still have very MDL tendencies, very amateurish tendencies. If that goes away, then I will put Dewa to great again. But for now, I will have to put Dewa still in mid-table. They still have those tendencies, you know. Evo's Glory, because of their performance, 2-0 week. Really, can we still say that they are a no playoffs team? They've been no playoffs for a while. I didn't put them in no playoffs with this new roster, but now I will have to put them at great. The rise of Evo's Glory has been phenomenal, and I mean, just last week alone, beating Onyx and Bigatron, the two teams that were top teams in my list just before. And Evo's Glory they just have such a solid team right now. They have amazing drafts for like, firstly, amazing drafts. Secondly, their players are really, really good. I mean, Fluffy, this guy has been so consistent. Doesn't care if the X-Borg is left open constantly. He'll always pick it up. He's always been a fill type of XP for Aura as well. And when he joined Evo's Glory, or Legends at the time, it did look like he struggled to fit in with the rest of the team. But now it feels like people just follow him. Annabelle is such a good prodigy, like a young prodigy that has so much diversity in the way that he plays the game. And even though he was solo killed by the Angela in week 3, I believe, when they debuted as Evo's Glory, I remember saying this, that he was not bad. Like, yeah, he got solo killed by an Angela, which is not a good look, but he's not bad. He's still a jungler that has so much potential. And if Evo's Glory bank on this roster, it's just a full young roster, technically, with Claw as well. Claw's amazing, too. And Dreams. Oh, my God. The veterans in this lineup have been popping off. Dreams on the Franco. A Franco god. And it just feels like when he gets his hero, it's kind of the same. He performs so well. Brance is such a consistent member, too, now. He's back. He's from Mr. Bombastic to Mr. Fantastic. We're seeing a mythical creature every odd season. We see a good Brands. Season 7, Bigatron Alpha, Brands, amazing grand finals performance. Season 11, Brands for Evos, won ISF and went on to go to MSC as well. So this is like a mythical creature, a new mythical creature in MPL. It's odd season Brands. It's Mr. Fantastic. It's his other half. Later when we get to the even seasons, maybe he'll be back to Mr. Bombastic, but for now, man, Evo's Glory has really, really impressed me. Last but not least, definitely not least, Rebellion, which I will put at highest mid-table. They deserve to be great, but I will still have to see. This is still a bit of a question mark for me for Rebellion. Every single time I rate them too high, they underperform in the next week. So for now, I think we will rate them just in mid-table. They are definitely the highest mid-table. They did make so many amazing plays. Their macro was phenomenal, dude. Like, seriously, extraordinary improvements from Rebellion. I think Evo's Glory and Rebellion, the two blue teams, have improved the most in the last, like, with the 2-week break that we got. And for Rebellion, Cars is the shining light for me. God damn, dude. The guy was performing so well on the Paquito, even on picks that you don't really expect him to perform on, you know? You expect him to perform well on the Arlet, on the Paquito as well, but even when he was given team fighting picks, he did quite well. The CC2, a signature for him, and he played very, very well. The whole team as well. And for Rebellion, D in the lineup, having a guy that has such a deep hero pool in the gold lane and having a guy who's very smart in the way he does things, I think is more of a benefit for an MPL team uh, over the only mechanical Moai. I've been saying this from week one, but I think D is a better gold laner for Rebellion, and I'm glad to see that finally he does have the spotlight for him and his team, because D also got Rookie of the Week. D was amazing on Natan, on Moskov. That there is a tendency for D. He doesn't do quite well. He doesn't do well at all, actually, when it comes to the bully heroes. He does well on the farming heroes. You have to farm up until a point where you get a power spike, and then he pops off. The Moskovs, the Natans, the Claudes. But whenever he's given heroes that need to have urgency, that need to bully, that need to win lane, he just doesn't have the same oomph. He was given a carry once, and he was given another bully pick that I kind of forgot, but he wasn't able to perform on that. Still, though, for Rebellion, consistency is a big question. Hopefully they can keep this up for the next weeks to come. I really hope so, but this is what MPL ID looks like based on week 5. Let's move on to the gold lane tier list, and we are going to shuffle this around again. Skylar didn't play, unfortunately, so we're going to have to keep him out of the list. Who am I missing here? I'm missing D. All right. So, give me a sec. Let me just put D in. Well, shit. I'm going to have to use Moai's picture, guys. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi is actually down right now for some reason. I'm very, very sorry. So, I can't get a picture of D. And that's why I thought I already had the picture. My bad. But we'll just use Moai as D because Moai didn't play either. But this is D, okay? I think we'll shuffle some things for gold lane. I honestly have to say Kabuki was the standout performer. Eman was okay. CW was very, very good. I would have to put it that way. Nino was really fallen. I would put D here. Albert there. Chidera doesn't deserve to be there. Brands as well deserves to be here. Watt is a bit more mid here. Bunny QT is all the way down there with Albert for now. I'm going to have to be honest with you. The fighters in the gold lane was just not it for me. Yeah, I think Chidera should be downgraded a bit here. Maybe we'll put D up there. But yeah, this is how I think the gold lane looks like for now, based on week number 5. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let's move on to the next one, which is Rome. And Rome, I've seen a lot of comments, by the way, who've been saying to me in like, Yawi's better than Keyboy. I've been saying that Keyboy feels like he's still the better overall, but based on week 5, hey, you guys proved me wrong. I think, yeah, Yawi definitely deserves to be up there. But who else deserves to be up there is Dreams, bro. Like, Dreams deserves to be there with Keyboy. I still think Keyboy is better. Dreams is there based on their performance. I would say Drian was better than also Brusco is Vin, by the way, because I still don't have Wi-Fi. But yeah, we'll have Key be there, Audi TZ be here, Rossi's here, and we don't have a picture for Rect. I don't think Rossi deserves to be there, though. I'll put Rossi over here, and then this is probably Vin. And Rect, I'm going to have to say for Rect, I will actually, let's say, I'm just going to say this is Rect, okay, and put him here, because, dude, it feels like he's only a one trick, an Angela, Matilda, Grok only, and it just becomes so readable. And even when he plays the Grok, I think he only actually performs on the Angela, Matilda. So whenever he's given other heroes, he just doesn't really do too well. So yeah, this is what I think is the Roamer tier list for per week 5. Let's move on to mid lane with a lot of changes now. Lemon definitely will move up. Yeah, Hezkiel definitely will move up here. I think for Moreno and a boy, we're going to have to put them down. I think Yehezkiel has actually taken the throne for now. Lemon did actually outperform Moreno and a boy. He was playing really well. He was one of the standouts. I think Krite has been downgraded. Claw Kun definitely deserves to go up there. And this is probably how it looks like for me right now, based on how they performed in week 5. And now, the jungle tier list, which I think will have to change a lot. Super Ken downgraded from S tier. Taz downgraded from S tier. I think Gugun is the only guy there who is still S tier. Oh man, then it becomes really, really tough. I would say Ray here. Annabelle will be moved up to A. He was performing really, really well. Vincent as well. Really, really a good performance from him. Kyrie was doing good, but his retries just seemed so off. Even in the landslide, he fucked up, I think, once. Taz was... Irad was okay. Honestly, Irad probably deserves to be there. Super Ken didn't perform too well. He's my boy. It's so sad to see him put him there. But... Um... Yeah, based on their performances, I would actually say this is quite. Wait. Yeah, this is quite accurate right now for based on week 5, because Super Ken and Taz really didn't do much in week 5, at all. Even when Super Ken was given the fanny, it was countered, and it's very unfortunate to see him here. He deserves to be here, I think, for the whole season. Kyrios as well deserves to be up there still, but based on week 5, this is how it is. And last but not least, what did I say, guys? Aran is the top XP laner right now in Indonesia, and he kind of proved it. I think we won't really see any changes here. Kimura, actually, Fluffy will be moved up there. Pi will be downgraded. Luke is still there, I would say. He's still really, really good. Banana here. Cars upgraded for sure. Sorizo and Boots. This is Lutpi, okay? I'm going to have to put... Yeah, I'm going to have to say this is probably how it looks like for now. This is how it looks like for now, I think. I would say, actually, based on week 5, Cars actually deserves to be there over Luke, over Pi. Kimura might even deserve to be there over Pi, honestly. Because Pi didn't perform. Boots didn't perform. Lutpi didn't perform well. And Sorizo also didn't perform well. But, yeah, I'm just going to put him here. So, there we go. That is all the whole thing for you guys. For XP, for, all the roles. Let me know if you guys agree in the comment section down below. Let me know if you guys think that Aura are the best team in MPL ID right now. And do you think the Yawi effect is real? Because I certainly do. After seeing the way that he learned Indo so quick, after seeing how he got close with the players, he's putting so much effort and he's trying to prove all the haters wrong that, he deserves to play in a roster. He deserves to be in a world-class team. And I think he has the tools with the team right now to help Aura develop to an absolute monster. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and we will have discussions in the comment section. Peace out.